What's up, everybody? It's Joe LaPuma. You were watching the Complex Sneakers podcast. As always, I'm joined by my two guys, my two friends to my right, Big Bubble Boy, Mr. Matt Welty.
We're here. Bubble Boy?
And to my left...
Isn't that Jake Gyllenhaal in Bubble Boy? Do I remember that correctly?
Jake Gyllenhaal.
And he's on Hot Ones this week.
Yeah, make sure you go. I'm sure you already watched it, though. I'm sure you already watched it. But go check out that Jake Gyllenhaal Hot Ones season finale.
I'm sure our friends at Hot Ones, hello, Sarah, Chris, everybody else, I'm sure they're happy that we're on this humble show promoting them. I'm sure they really felt like they needed that extra promo.
That extra push. Yeah, exactly. To my left, Mr. Brendan Dunn. He's here.
Signature interruptions coming in early.
It's all good. It's all good. We get to the greeting. We get to the energy. The energy stays up.
Actually, I want to mention this. You could call me Brendan Welty if you want. I was at the Action Bronson concert last week, and some guy came up to me and said, "Are you Brendan Welty?"
Oh, all right.
just devastating. The humbling.
You said I'm everywhere. You ain't never there. Even in your absence, your presence is felt.
Thank you to all the fans everywhere. The young man I saw on the train with the Haze dunks on.
Whoa, lows or highs?
Lows.
Wow,
Yeah.
Wasn't me?
No, that wasn't you, Joe.
That Haze dunks on the train?
Yeah.
Respect. That was
today?
That's
why I threw him a salute. No, that was last night. I was on my way to the opera.
So that's to see those in the field. That's rare.
You don't want to ask him about the opera? Spike Lee was there. I saw Spike Lee
at the opera.
Yeah, a young lady asked if she could take a selfie. She said, "Hey, Spike, can I get a selfie?" He said, "Can't do that."
No.
Yeah, shut her down real quick.
Opera was it who? Bocelli in town or who was it?
The opera is called Champion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
A man of taste.
It was its debut at the Metropolitan Opera here.
A man of taste, a man of luxury, a man of class at the opera.
I'm blushing.
What do we got? What's going on? How was the weekend?
Well, it was Easter.
Yes, it was.
Did you do a lot of planning for your Easter sneakers? I feel like I saw some calls from you on social media asking people best Easter sneakers, what they're wearing for Easter. I feel like that's a big thing for you.
So went home for Easter last minute, went and saw the folks, took the Amtrak up, and I had a funny realization about Easter sneakers over the weekend is that everyone thinks for Easter sneakers you have to wear like the most like pink, purple, pastel-ish colors. But at the back of my head, I'm thinking, if you're like going to church with the family, etc., it almost feels like the more appropriate or fitting footwear choice is to wear like a pair of brown,
something conservative
or green New Balances instead of the DJ Khaled Air Jordan 5s.
It always comes back to the
can't let go of the Complex Con discussion. He can't let go of it.
Always comes back.
For fairness, Complex Sneakers Instagram account on Easter did post like the 1 year like anniversary-esque of the DJ Khaled Air Jordan 5s.
Oh,
so that's why
that
it's
was
fresh
a year
in your
ago?
mind.
I think so, yeah.
Wow. So you went to New Hampshire.
Yeah.
You didn't do an Easter egg hunt for your building in Jersey City?
No.
We did
an Easter egg hunt for my niece.
Okay, but you didn't do it for the residents of your building?
Yeah, that would have really brought up the morale.
Yes.
I'm like the youngest person in the building. I don't think it's going to happen.
That would have bought you some goodwill when the AC units go out this summer.
Just remember the little plastic eggs you put the pennies in?
Plastic eggs? We're not doing plastic eggs.
Wait, real eggs?
Yeah.
Wait, you stuff them with money, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
All right.
But I saw a lot of people saying
I don't know
for Easter shoes this year, a lot of Joe Freshgood 993s. Joe Freshgood posted his whole like catalog of sneaker collabs and was like, "Oh, what should I break out?" I don't know. It was cool to see Joe's whole
the whole palette.
Yeah,
in one picture.
There was that unreleased pair of purple 993s.
I missed that. There's an unreleased purple New Balance 993.
Yeah.
I need that.
It's funny looking back because I like those shoes, even though I've said I'm not a fan of like the pack collabs as much or the multiple pairs, but the purple one just looks so good.
Yeah. How about these Terra Squad Air Force Ones well on the way?
The black and white ones that he was wearing? Yeah, I
like
those.
He debuted those on Full Size Run. So the panda thing, did you see what he responded?
No. What'd he say?
We posted that black and white colorway of the Terra Squad Air Force Ones, a sneaker I'm very excited about.
Same.
I need at least one of the colorways that's coming,
if
not multiple. And Fat Joe said in the comments, these have been around since 2004. We don't jack styles. Fat Joe
Speak on it,
getting ahead of the panda narrative early to let people know This is
Speak
something
on it.
that's been around for decades now. This has nothing to do with the panda dunk.
So you're getting a pair of pandas?
What?
Are you getting a pair of those pandas?
Are you disrespecting?
No, but are you?
You don't want that smoke. You don't want that smoke, okay?
I would like the black and white Terror Squad Air Force Ones.
Same.
Yeah, I'll buy those at retail for sure.
Same.
For sure. Are you, Welty?
Not Air Force One guys. So
Yeah. You must have owned a pair of Air Force Ones at some point.
I've had like a couple pairs. But,
Which pairs?
The first one. I mean, I've only owned like 2 or 3 pairs of Air Force Ones. I had a pair of the Air Force One. I think they're like Lux Comfort. They were like a Nike Lab pair. They're like monotone.
Yep.
Or upper with like a leather outsole. And shout out our good friend Ronnie Feig. He sent a pair of the Tokyos.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But you don't really wear Air Force Ones.
Not
Now, this is, I don't know if, I don't want to like threaten any connections you have in your personal life, but your close personal friend, PG, is of course an Air Force One super aficionado. Is there any chance that this causes a rift between
No.
you two? The
No.
stunning revelation that you don't ever wear Air Force
Little
Ones?
bit of sneaker wars over the
No, I
collabs?
feel like it's a good switch because Paul always wears the same thing every time you see him. So it's a
Wow, more tension.
Yeah,
You're just
that's
adding
sure.
to it.
Okay, couldn't help himself with the shot.
All right. Run the Jewels dunks coming up. Not a huge fan.
Okay.
Isn't it like your whole life like predicated on this one moment?
No, absolutely not. No, what? No.
Big Brendan Dunshoe, is that what
Big
you're
Brendan
trying to say?
Dunshoe.
Of course, I love SB Ducks. I've obsessed over them for decades now. I'm a big LP fan. I'm not the biggest Run the Jewels fan, but I like their music and I've seen them live a few times.
And we spoke about it on here. I've never seen your life ruined more than when.
Wow, this is
Wow,
harsh.
we
What is
spoke
it?
about it?
Yeah, we did. When we
Oh,
went to go
yes, I
shoot,
know what
we
you're
went to
talking
go
about.
shoot the podcast, and Brendan was sitting on the LP sneaker
Oh,
leak.
right.
Yeah, we had the early info before anybody else, or I don't know if we had it before anybody else, but we had the info for a while that there was going to be a set of Run the Jewels dunks. We were recording a podcast, and then when we finished recording the podcast, I had a message from somebody saying somebody else posted it, and Welty is absolutely right. Personally attacked, totally devastated.
This guy got a storage unit full of leaks. He just forgets
Hey,
sometimes. I forgot I had him. I forgot I had that in the stash.
I wish we could talk about it at length on here, but I think that a few hours after this episode comes out, we'll drop a. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes,
you know what
I
I'm
do.
talking about?
I'm not
Let
sure.
me mouth it to you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we'll put that out there this Friday. And I guess talk about it in a couple weeks. We are. Let's say the PSA now. I think we're taking next week off of the podcast.
Yes,
right?
we are. We are taking next week off. You know, boys need a break. So
No rest for the weary.
that's it. We're taking a week off. Good thing is we've had a lot of great guests recently. Go back in that archive. If you're watching the Air movie, go check that Sonny Vaccaro episode out.
I went back and listened to the Sonny Vaccaro episode. I was pretty happy to hear that conversation.
Catalog is
again.
extensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it surprises me sometimes how much we did during the whole like pandemic
Yeah.
era.
I know, and I do hope people can go find those. I feel like when they're not on YouTube, it gets a little lost. But
I know.
we're maybe we might be 200 episodes deep. Have we done? No, there's no way we've done 200 episodes of this podcast,
Maybe.
right?
I don't know.
No, because that would have been that like one episode a week. That'd be like 4 years. That's not quite it.
And you're gonna be. Can we talk about you're gonna be popping out?
Yeah, when people hear this, I'll be in Oregon. So
Oh.
I thought you were
flag
gonna-
me down if you see me on the map.
Oh, I thought you were gonna be. Or is that the following week?
Oh yes, I'll be in California after that for the Fear of God show at the Hollywood Bowl.
A little
No.
West Coast trip for you.
I know. Jerry was like he had spoken to us about it, but
Yep.
he was like alluding even more to that over the weekend. Like, it was. I think he had posted pictures. It was like Easter Sunday at
Yeah,
the Hollywood Bowl.
yeah.
But also at the Hollywood Bowl, he's gonna have the Fear of God Adidas.
Very much looking forward to that.
Okay.
New Balance 860 V2, the ALD pairs. Welty, are you into that sneaker?
I like the green one, and I feel like that's the only one that needed to be made.
Okay.
Even though, I guess
Is this part of your thing about?
About one colorway.
Yeah,
per
you feel
release.
like
I think so.
collaborations need to just stand on one colorway
think
instead
so.
of doing a full range.
People had said that the red and blue pairs are the OG colorways.
Okay.
Of that shoe, so
Okay.
I
like the blue a lot.
I kind of get that. I think the red just looks a little, like you don't need it. But I just really like the green one. So I'm
Cream
like,
soda color on the toe.
yeah, the blue one looks a little salmon toe ish though.
Oh,
No,
I'd have to check.
I didn't think
the
that.
gear is great though.
I'll tell you what, all the New York City cool guys already have those.
Really?
Yeah.
You've seen it out?
I've seen it a lot. I haven't seen it out, but I've seen it on Instagram. I do want a pair. I wish I would have bought them.
I thought you'd be a big fan, Joe, of that the promo photo where like they're tying the shoes and there's like the gold chain on and
gold watch.
I think there's a there's a gold anklet or
I like the gear, but I didn't get the shoes.
What other collabs? Oh, this is one link that we ran out there that we haven't talked about on here just yet, but Bode Nike.
Yes, you broke that.
Of course.
Obviously.
Sorry,
goes without saying.
Sorry.
But yeah, so what do you know?
Nike Astro Grabber. This is a sneaker that they've never retro before. This is a mid-70s. Yeah. I think we're going to see a lot of shoes in that same vein, that kind of, I don't want to call it a category, but that kind of genre of original Nike turf/football shoes, these very flat models like that. So the Astro Grabber is an important one for Nike's history. Yeah, designed by Bill Bowerman. It's got the original waffle sole on the bottom. This guy, Dan Fouts, who was a quarterback at Oregon, had some input on the development of the shoe.
Joey Harrington have it? Or?
No, okay. But Dan Fouts did throw some passes to a young Tinker Hatfield before he ever showed up at the University of Oregon.
Yeah, because, over the shoulder?
Yeah. Tinker told me in an interview earlier this year that I'm gonna write a 5,000 word thing on the Astro Grabber eventually, so we'll get into it all there. But that before Tinker said that, he went to Oregon on track scholarship, and before he got there, they were testing him out to see if he could be a wide receiver because the school wanted to get more value for the scholarship money that they gave him to see if they could fill 2 slots on teams with him. So
I'm not looking forward to this shoe though.
What? Bode Nike?
Yeah.
Tell us why.
Just
it's not your thing at all.
Not at all. Like I'd put out there whatever. It's like I think it's very like Wales, Bonner, Samba crowd, but just not. I know what the shoe looks like, not the collab, but like I know
you have an idea in your head of what it will look like.
I already can visualize what it's going to look like.
Can you visualize your frustration?
Not frustration, just not for me.
Tell me this:
is it for you?
I haven't seen the shoe.
You haven't seen the shoe, but unless they do something extravagant to the silhouette, you kind of know what you're in for.
I don't want to jump to any conclusions. I just don't know enough about it yet. I haven't seen it.
It's kind of like saying
make a judgment without. Sometimes I want to be conservative, even when we see the leaked photos. And be let's wait until we see more. I don't even have a name of a colorway for these shoes.
Trust me,
not even a style code.
I get it, but
okay, you can find
at the same point, it's like it's saying that they're going to do a collaboration on like the Air Jordan 2010, and what that shoe looks like, and you could do something crazy to it that may make the shoe look cooler, but that's not the sort of style shoe that you're into.
That's what you're saying. Astro Grabber in general, that shape of shoe from Nike,
I'm not going to do it.
The whole Field General things from that era, you're not into it.
No.
Okay. Joe?
I feel like I would be into this.
Okay.
Although I feel
there's some apparel coming as well.
Yeah, I don't think you'd be into this shoe.
I feel like the colorway might be a little light. No, I like that. You remember Ama Manier did that waffle?
That's nothing.
Waffle one.
Nothing similar.
It's not.
Not really.
Hold on. What's it called? The Astro Grabber?
Yeah.
It's like a super low top. Like.
I don't see Joe LaPuma in this shoe necessarily.
It looks like a pair of like Onisoka Tigers.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean it's from that era.
I'm looking now. Absolutely not.
See? Glad we got that out of the way.
Yeah. I must have just saw like the post in passing. Yeah. So that's.
Or people did think that because you had posted it's Bode, right?
Yeah.
Bode jacket with the swoosh logo like photoshopped on top of it, and people were like, "Oh, that's the." People were like thinking like, "Oh, is this maybe a jacket from the collection?"
No. Yeah, very generous to even say that we photoshopped it. Zach just put the logo on top. Yeah.
Luka 2s, do we like them?
Not a shoe I've thought a lot about, to be honest.
Me either.
I thought they looked good.
Yeah, they're good on-court shoe, but
Mavs are a hot topic right now.
Why is that?
It's overshadowed by that for sure.
I mean, Luka's arguably like one of the best players in the NBA, but like they didn't even make the playoffs.
To protect their pick going to the Knicks, I'll give you the TLDR because I know you're super interested. I know you're a big basketball fan. To protect their picks going to the Knicks, they sat Luka after the first quarter.
Okay.
So they would lose the play-in game, so they're out of the playoffs. And it's like a big controversy because there was a chance that they could have made the playoffs if they won.
Yeah, and there's a chance that his new Jordan brand signature shoe could have a much bigger platform to shine on.
When's the Tatum dropping?
I don't know.
Okay, we need Jason Tatum on sneaker shopping.
I was with him on set a couple weeks ago.
Tatum?
You should have told me. I would have gotten his ear.
Can you text him?
No.
We need Tatum on sneaker shopping.
No, I can't.
We're on hiatus. We're on hiatus. I've seen him at Concepts. Boston is just an Acceleride down.
Yeah.
An Acceleride up, actually.
That's where I was.
Yeah, we need to.
Needham.
Wait, you went to Boston?
Yeah, I was in Needham.
Oh, I didn't know that. Tatum, come on.
Is that how you pronounce it,
shopping.
Needham? I think it's a suburb of Boston.
Okay.
Should we talk about the sneakers we're wearing on feet?
It's time.
Before we get into some other stuff, Welty, Big Bubbles?
Big Bubbles, thanks to our good friend and alumni of the show, Derek Curry.
Oh, shouts to Derek.
How much do you like them?
I do.
We've had a lot of conversation about this.
I do like them quite a bit. Just the few pain points that people have talked about in the shoe is the shape of the toe. Not really the bubble. I think the shape of the toe is what people are complaining about the most. It's kind of round.
Okay. And do you feel that way when you look down at your toes?
A little bit, but it doesn't bother me too much.
Okay.
I don't mind the bubble. The one thing I didn't even notice about the shoe is that the tongue has this weird felt like padding to it. But
Oh, sounds like you're really into them.
I do. I mean, white Red Air Max one's my favorite shoes.
Look good.
Yep.
Joe?
My Easter shoes, Cortez 95s.
You gonna pop out in the GNCs, the blue joints?
No, I popped out. Yeah, hopefully, but I did pop out on the gram last week. My boy hit me because I haven't been.
You don't see Joe on the grid very
made
often.
my return to the feed in these.
Did you have
my boy Frazier-
all the most important
did you have a
sneaker
leather
news
on?
today.
Yeah, leather pants. My boy Frazier thought I brought the On Noirs out from 2012, 2014. No, it wasn't
All
those.
the important sneaker
Might
news.
as well have been Cortez 95s though, doing the black.
I am going to
ones.
go buy these on resale. I'm pledging. I think I mentioned it on here or another program, one of the many platforms you see me on. I'm gonna spend some money on these.
I'm 4 or 5 wears in, and look, not a wrinkle in sight, baby.
Are you gonna double up on these?
I did
This colorway, or all the both?
this colorway.
Not
I
on the
did.
green ones.
I don't think so because I could tell that these shoes are going to wear well, and I want the green ones to wear well.
It's not often that you get a good leather 95.
Look
you know,
at
that's the one
this.
thing about
Look at it.
95s is like I'm always worried about bringing them out when the weather's a little gloomy because there's all that suede on there, you know, and you don't want to ruin them. Now you got a nice leather gradient 95. You step out in the storm and feel
Protected.
Thank you.
Okay.
I am doing a sneaker that I love, a sneaker that I'm wearing for the first time ever, Nike Air Structure Tri-X OG. This is the retro, the recent one. This is a sneaker that I wanted for a long time. Welty, do you remember when the retro before this one was?
2009, I believe.
2009? I wanted that pair back then, never bought them, but I did buy the basketball version. You remember there was a high top version of it?
You got buckets?
I didn't get any buckets in them, but I bought that pair from a Nike outlet in Seaside, Oregon for $40, but just not as good as this one. And they finally brought back this one years later. And it was a shoe that I bought and then kind of assumed that maybe I would never wear it, you know, a classic, just like there's a lot of those OG Nike runner retro colorways.
Then you put it on your feet and you're like, oh yeah, I can wear this all the time.
Yeah. I'm happy to. So if you see me in Oregon, this is what I'll be in.
Oh, you're going to pack them for Oregon?
Yeah.
Are you leaving right from here?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see the Ramoa in the office. Okay. I don't know.
That's the pair. That's the pair that I had ordered, and they got stuck in Kearney, New Jersey UPS shipping hub, and got ripped in the belt, the shipping belt, and they were like, "Oh, we can't send you the shoes."
You got your money back, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, Joe, speaking of shipping woes and shoes going through long journeys before they reach their eventual destination, I believe that there's a pair of dime Reeboks floating around here somewhere for you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they didn't come from Greece, baby.
Wow. Really?
I think so. Check the mail room.
I got to check the mailroom.
Yeah, I think we might have finally located a pair for you.
Wow. Thank you. Amazing. Am I going to know who sent it?
I think it was our friend Mubi.
Oh, my guy who we shared a little antepasta and some al dente pasta at Emilio's.
It all comes back around.
Okay,
It all
love
comes
that. I
back
got to
around.
check. I'm going to check the mail right after this.
Okay.
Can you share antipas with Matt Damon?
No, it was too early in the morning for that. I would have though. I would have. A little supersad and some mortadella. Listen, before I go on a rant. Okay, so last week on the podcast, we talked about Air. I've seen it 3 times now.
Really?
Yeah, because I saw one screener before we had the shoot. I saw another screener at South by Southwest. They had the event. And then I went again last week.
With the general public?
Yes, Gen Pop. 1010 with my friend and
What theater did you see it at?
Alamo Draft House.
You had some tater tots?
Downtown Brooklyn. I had chicken tenders.
Beautiful.
So good. A little dark in there. You don't know what you're eating, but that's okay. Fries and chicken tenders, it's fine. But last week, my colleague to my left was asking you to go see the movie because we want to talk about it. Him and I have talked about it. He's wrote about it. I had Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, and Chris Tucker on the show. The show's called Sneaker Shopping.
You may have heard of it?
Yeah. But you said, you have Easter, you have all these things. You were making all the excuses. You said
no
that
excuses.
You said you wouldn't get to it. You're not sure when you would get to it. We thought maybe you wait for Amazon Prime. But last night, Power moved it. The 7:30 screening, you prefaced it, the screening. I had chicken tenders at the last movie. I'm going to get to it. I had chicken tenders at the last movie
Sneakers
theater at
podcast.
Alamo Draft House. You did a power move you set the tone. You were like Phil Knight going to the movie, okay? What'd you have before?
Well,
What'd you-
I'm about to tell you.
I know it's a long build-up. I gotta
No, it's
get
not
to
even
it.
a build-up.
I
I had traveled. I went to Easter with my folks.
Oh my God, we're going back to Easter?
Well, that's why I didn't
Sorry,
see the
go.
movie.
Okay,
That's why I
go,
didn't
go.
see the
Did you
movie.
just take the Lord's name in vain?
No, I said we're going back to Easter.
She said, "Oh my God."
Oh,
Anyways,
sorry.
but took the train.
sorry.
Took the train back. Took the Amtrak back. Sat all day. My legs were super jacked up.
Yeah, I was wondering why he texts. Oh, you text like,
We'll put
to sit
ongoing
2 hours.
issue.
We'll
I'm
put
going to
the
stretch
No,
it.
it's an ongoing issue. I have like an issue, whatever, my hamstring, whatever.
Oh, okay.
Sitting for long periods of time like makes it so
Yeah.
my body's all jacked up.
Oh, I didn't know
So
that.
I had to go.
We see that. I knew that. I knew you were
I mean, I
jacked
got
No.
jacked up
Anyways,
like this.
yeah,
and like
had
that.
to go like stretch things out because I knew I was going to go sit for another
Yeah.
2 hours, and I'm like, this is not going to be a pretty situation. But little did I know, the movie theater I went to, because I don't go to the movies anymore, you have to like reserve a seat. I didn't know that was a thing anymore.
Okay.
But it was one of the
The recliners.
Oh, okay.
yeah, I didn't know that
All
was
right.
a thing.
Yeah.
A little weird, but I went and saw the movie.
You're missing Sarku, though.
Oh, I
You're
went
getting
in-
the
oh.
build-up to Sarku.
Oh, sorry, I totally forgot about that.
That's the
I
whole
apologize.
build-up. Okay,
This
he
is like
texts
the
us.
least sneakery episode
No, I'm
we've
sorry.
had in a while.
I'm sorry.
No,
I don't think
no.
we're going to cut it, but anyone who knows, I guess Sarku is a nationwide brand, but Jersey City, he goes to see the movie. He starts, the stretching, the leg issue. Sorry to hear about it, but Sarku, chicken teriyaki. When I was at the finish line for lunch, you know how many times I
always
had
comes back to the
Sarku
finish
during the
line.
week?
Double meat.
Double meat, and also with Sarku, here's a little
Pick
here's
and
a little
pop
nugget.
in the-
No,
You almost said Easter egg.
no,
but
here's a
you
little.
didn't want to take us back
How
to
many?
Easter.
Here's a little thing for Sarku. When you are, they give you the
Yeah, the
teriyaki.
sample.
I used to wait 2 minutes because
Used to.
they always skimp a little on the teriyaki, so I always waited. They would pour over 3 times. Anyway,
I thought.
if anyone knows Sarku, it's worth it. This amount of time we're giving to it. So,
I thought you were going to say it's like Costco with the little sample plate that they have.
well,
with
that's how they lure you in. But they lure you in because they drench it in teriyaki. Then when you get the regular dish, it's not that drenched. That's why I go, no, I want it to be like the sample. Keep going. Then they get mad at me. They see me coming in the mall. They get mad at me. Anyway,
We
we're
might have
here.
just picked up a
I'm sorry.
much needed new sponsor. For
I
the
know,
Complex
I'm sorry,
Sneakers
I know that
podcast.
Sarku Japan. There's one right down
Oh
the
my
street.
God.
Might as well.
I may get that today. Listen, though. Air, we saw it. You saw it.
Yep.
You tweeted last night, right
When
before.
you saw it, yeah.
You have thoughts? Here
Yeah.
we are. Let us hear it.
Give us your thoughts.
It's just my thoughts. That's what I was feeling at the time.
Let's see.
Okay, so I sent you guys a text
Yes.
last night, and I
Yes.
put it all down in form. Here are my thoughts on the
Wow.
on the movie.
Took notes.
Took notes.
Okay.
Number one, I think you had mentioned. I don't know if you mentioned this on the program, Brendan, or we had said this privately or whatever. One of the biggest thing. Peter Moore didn't have a lisp.
So I have to interject right there because I felt the same way when I first saw the movie. That actor has a lisp. That
Yes.
actor has a lisp in real life.
Okay.
And at first, when I saw it, the performance, I thought that it was some put on for the movie. that is just the way that guy talks. So
also,
we can't count that as a point against the movie.
Matthew Marr. It was also funny. Ben Affleck had a new Dunkin' Donuts commercial after the movie, and he's playing. He's at the register. Matthew Marr. But to your point, yes, he has a lisp.
Yeah. So, anyways, carry on.
Okay. Second point, and you said Tinker Hatfield also pointed this out to you. Matt Damon is good in the movie.
Yes, great performance.
But Matt Damon is not Sonny Vaccaro.
Yeah,
the best way I can put it. This is just the easiest way to explain it. Is that if 20 years or 10 years are doing a sneaker shopping biopic.
Oh my God, you better be careful.
This is the easiest way. This is the easiest way to describe
Timothée
it.
Chalamet?
No, if they get
as Joe LaPuma?
No, if they get Brendan Dunn to play Joe LaPuma.
Would you be honored?
But it's like
you landed the plane. You landed the plane because I thought you were going to go somewhere else. I wasn't sure.
It's like you have so much insider info on Joe and probably know a lot of his characteristics and everything. But Brendan Dunn is not Joe LaPuma.
No,
I don't know. That's a bad analogy.
No, it's literally not.
Matt Damon doesn't have so much insider. What? Just because he met with Sonny?
No, but I'm just saying he understood the character, but like Matt Damon is not Sonny Vaccaro.
You missed him saying Timothée Chalamet playing me in Sneaker Shop. Who would play Dave Matthews? Matthew McConaughey?
I think the point Welty's trying to make, and I made similar ones with other characters, and it's a good one in my opinion. And I'm sorry if y'all are listening to this and upset about us expressing our opinions about the movie, just our opinions, but he doesn't have that swarthy East Coast Italian guy. He's just
like, hey, my name is Sonny Vaccaro, and you look at Matt Damon, it's like blonde hair, blue eyed guy. It's just like it just doesn't fit.
But you told me before the podcast you had if you had to recast, he had a good one.
Paul Giamatti as Sonny Vaccaro.
Yeah, I like that. So we both liked the performance, but just felt
doesn't really that's not Sonny Vaccaro.
They're best friends. It was their first movie on the production company, but okay, I understand. Also, I saw an interview where Matt Damon said Ben and him were talking about who was going to play Sonny, him or Ben, and Ben was directing it, and it was like, Ben has to direct, so he's like swamped with that, so they gave the larger part to Matt.
I'm glad Ben did.
I know you had said, like the wardrobe helps a little bit because he's wearing some of the clothes, and they gave him, I don't know if he gained weight, but they gave him like
a little bit of a punch.
Yeah. Ben is good as Phil.
You like that performance?
That fits. Like the beard, the hair, him being the tall, skinny guy, barefoot in the office, like coming through in the pink jogging pants or spandex. That's good. I feel like he's really good as Phil Knight. The purple-esque Porsche.
Crepe. Yep.
Yeah, I like that performance fine. There was some feedback I saw. This is from our friend Matt Kish at Business Insider.
Oh, yeah.
He had one of the better pieces I've seen in response to the movie, and he went and saw the movie in Oregon with a bunch of Nike alumni and kind of got their feedback on what was right and what was wrong. And he said that one of the things was the portrayal to these people who worked at Nike for years of Phil Knight didn't feel totally accurate, and that, quote, he was self-deprecating. It's unlikely that he'd boast about his importance to history or the size of Nike as his character does in two scenes. So, again, some of the people who were involved and who were there for the story.
That scene, though, when he's boasting about the size of Nike, that they had said that was, like, not what's the way to do it? That wasn't what he was supposed. They did it as a line in the film itself, where he was supposed to come in and just make himself seem more important. That's not how he was really going to act.
Right.
In the meeting.
Yes. So that wasn't like him bragging and boasting.
Strategy?
Why is it to it?
No, the 7-minute thing.
Maybe. I mean, it seemed like the meeting was a disaster until Sonny knocked it out of the park.
In the fictionalized account.
Yeah.
Go on, Welty, please.
Keep going.
To me, and this is just my hunch.
Yeah.
To me, obvious that Michael Jordan wasn't involved, so his character was left out of the film.
You read what Ben has been saying.
You believe that this whole line that they've been giving about how they intentionally left Michael Jordan out of the film because he was too magnificent a person and too tall a figure in history to ever portray with somebody else. You think that's all a myth, and that the real reason he is so absent in the movie is because they couldn't get him to agree to
I mean,
something.
Mike, there's so many things over time. Like, it's like proven that The Last Dance, that Michael Jordan gave them all the footage
Sure, he was a key part.
He signed off on it. He was
like
part of the production of it. In the 90s, Michael Jordan wasn't an NBA Jam because he didn't want to give his likeness to the game. It's like Michael Jordan is either all the way in on something or like not involved with. The fact you don't even see his face, it's just like the back of his head the whole time. It's just...
You felt like there's something more there.
Yes,
than what
I feel like Michael
told.
Jordan didn't check off on the movie. And even when we had Marlon Wayans on Full Size Run, he was kind of dismissive about Michael Jordan is too big to even care about this film.
Yeah.
Which makes me believe that MJ didn't care about the film.
But did you read the part about MJ told Ben Viola Davis has to play his mom?
She's great.
Yeah.
She's great in the film.
But do you believe that conversation happened?
I believe that, but I also believe MJ saying I'm not going to be...
You can't portray me in some way.
Yes.
That's what you think happened.
That's what I think. I mean, I could be totally wrong. That's just my hunch that like...
Okay.
I mean... This whole movie is about making myth, and I wouldn't be surprised if they made some myths along the way in the production of it and had to, blur the facts a little bit. I'm not mad at you speculating on that.
Best scene to me is the end where Phil talks about Carolyn Davidson making the swoosh. Where did the sound swoosh come from?
Yeah.
In that he goes, how would I feel if I made the company named Dimension 6? That's the real shoe dog.
Yeah, you like those little nods to the history.
The one thing that someone did say to me last night after I posted I had seen the movie that I didn't pick up on, like you said, there was so many like Easter eggs in the film that you don't realize until you watched it multiple times, is that they downplayed the importance of Jeff Johnson in the film, where they just refer to him as some consultant, where he's like the first employee at Nike.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that there was a lot of complaints. Again, this is going back to Matt Kish's piece of Business Insider, which you should go read it. It's a good recap, in my opinion, about the level of importance given to certain people and what role they played. But I think to some extent that makes sense, where it's a movie and you have to have one protagonist and one hero, and this movie decides that Sonny Vaccaro is that person. And obviously we know from our old conversations with Sonny that he was a person who felt shorted in that regard for a long time, and like he didn't get the credit, and now I think that credit has balanced out. But people were saying, again, to Matt Kish, that the role of Rob Strasser or the role of Peter Moore were diminished significantly in this movie, and that in history they were much more active in creating this thing.
Well, there's the one scene where where they do the whole presentation, and Peter starts talking about the design, and they're like, "Shut up."
Right. Or they go, "Thanks, Peter."
Yeah.
Or they call him Pete.
Yeah, thanks, Pete. Exactly.
Which is, again, going back to Matt Kish, apparently nobody ever called Peter Moore Pete.
And another thing that Sonny has said in interviews, that how the footage of him watching the shot in North Carolina, Sonny has said basically he was at that game.
Yeah, he told us that.
But in the movie, Damon, it's a movie, obviously.
Yeah.
That's where I kind of stand on it, as like it's a movie. It's
Sure.
going to be,
There's a lot of shortcuts you have to take.
Exactly, and it's going
ways
to
you
be,
have to package things neatly.
Right. There's going to be some satire to make it more like maybe for the mass, But basically, Sonny was saying, in the movie, Matt Damon is looking through footage of what players. And he puts Michael Jordan, he sees the shot, and he's talking about James Worthy, who was like the star, and they drew up Dean Smith drew up the play for Jordan, and that's when he realized. And Sonny said in the press run that he's been doing, basically, that he was at the game.
Yeah.
He had that thought. Damon in the movie contextualized that into him watching footage, but it wasn't really him watching footage. He was at the game, and that's how he thought this is the guy.
Yeah.
So I get it.
I
And
thought that would have been more powerful, though, because I had the same feeling when I went back and listened to our old conversation with Sonny Vaccaro of like, to me, that's a better scene in the movie because Sonny was actually there at the game.
Yeah.
In the movie, he watches the tape. Like, he could have had such a better, more impassioned speech and pitch if he told these guys, I was sitting 20 feet away. I saw Mike Jordan turn into Michael Jordan when he made the shot and won the championship.
It almost seemed like they didn't know who Michael Jordan was to some extent.
Who?
In the film, like they kind of had to sell, because it's
Like,
like
he
if Sonny
kinda
was there,
discovers him
if
in a
Sonny was
way.
there, it's
Yeah.
like he already knew that this guy was that, but it almost seemed like, who do we pick?
I
You
don't
know?
think Sonny, again, I think that's all to drag out a little bit of the story.
Sure.
But Sonny, I think also, I don't want to, if I'm correct, I think Sonny, that's the moment Sonny knew of Jordan. And he also said that he was at the game and it was such like a thing because Georgetown was a big Nike school.
Right.
So to see this guy wearing Converse and making the shot, that was the moment. And he was like, Damon perfectly kind of did it in the movie where he contextualized exactly how I felt, but it wasn't me essentially looking at footage and things like
Did
that.
you feel slighted, Brendan, on how much they disparaged John Stockton and Gonzaga in the film?
No, that's totally fine.
I think your biggest thing, like most people, is the Rob Strasser.
I mean, Rob Strasser, like, isn't he just like a much bigger dude in person and just a lot more FU?
Well, that's the thing. I think Bateman was like a little timid, I guess, and like of the group, and Strasser, you read up on him, and if you know him,
and you should, by the way. There's an old Willamette Week piece that resurfaced in the wake of this movie coming out called "The Man Who Saved Nike," and it's a portrait around that time of Rob Strasser and everything he did, and I think better captures the ways he contributed to all of that.
Yeah,
but all in all, did you like it?
No, I did like the film, but those are just like if you're gonna send us to watch this movie, as like sneaker experts or whatever you want to call us. It's like you have to like pick apart the pieces to it.
That's how I felt. I feel like it's an important part of the tradition. Like this movie couldn't exist in this way, and I wrote about this. This movie couldn't be made were it not for this whole cottage industry of people like us obsessing over sneakers. So to me, it's a totally fine and appropriate ritual to come to that movie and say, okay, what did they get right? What did they get wrong? What feels right to us? What doesn't?
To be fair, I was expecting to go into the movie and everyone be there in like Jordans and whatnot. The person sitting next to me had on Fumeros, and the person sitting next to the other side of me had on UNLV Dunks, but beyond that, I didn't see one pair of like cool shoes.
Was it him or
no? And I didn't see one pair of like cool shoes in the theater, and I was expecting it to be like all sneakerheads who went there, and it wasn't.
You were expecting a sneaker cam?
Yeah, no, but it was kind of nice to go to the movie and have it not be all, with all due respect, like people just breaking out a pair of shoes to watch the film. That's all.
There's one thing we do have to mention though.
What? Oh, the shoe?
No, the soundtrack.
Yeah.
A+.
Yeah.
Soundtrack is great.
50-50.
Oh.
I like it. So here's my thing. This
the sound supervisor went crazy. The music supervisor.
This might sound. This might
cook.
They spent a lot on
this
that.
might sound. This might sound a little. So the music is great, right? But every time I see an 80s movie that plays all those like super iconic 80s,
obvious ones,
80s songs, I'm expecting a movie to be about like excess money, drugs, illicit lifestyle, like super like 80s film that like pushes it over.
Could have gone there with Nike.
And that part, it was like, oh, just these kind of like burnt out dudes sitting in an office, which is like a lot of the film, except for Phil Knight's character.
What about when we got to the boss, Jersey's own Bruce Springsteen?
Exactly.
Did you like that
What
moment?
about in a big country when Sonny, a.k.a. Damon, is whipping to Carolina in a big country? No? Time after time, you didn't shed one tear.
The music is good. For some reason, it just didn't. When I think of all like the super iconic 80s films have the crazy soundtracks, it's just like this isn't that sort of movie.
Yeah. One other thing I thought, just because of how complicated the history and how many important, interesting players there are in this thing, and because I'm obsessed with this stuff, and part of it was I wanted to see more, where I wish this was an HBO series that, every character could be given their due. And we spent an hour with Rob Strasser, and we spent an hour with Peter Moore, people
David
like
Falk.
that. Imagine how much fun that would be.
The David Falk character, a little over the top.
Yeah, obviously.
I don't really know anything about David Falk.
But don't know definitely over
Stan
the top.
Smith, our friend Stan Smith. There was the picture of Stan Smith in the background. David Falk was his
yes.
manager. That one scene about all the herpes and everything. I'm like,
that's just for the movie.
It was just like, a little too like,
I mean, I'm sure people laughed in the theater though, right?
Yeah, there was.
That's why
there was giggles.
Yucks.
But to your point about an episodic series, one of my favorite podcasts, The Rewatchables, The Ringer.
Okay.
Shout outs Sean Fennessy, Bill Simmons, and they do it weekly, and they always ask, could this movie be an 8 episodic? Does it work better as an 8 episodic series? And that's kind of what you just said.
For me, yes. I would love that. Every tiny bit of history with way more references.
Real Shoe Dog stuff.
It's just such a rich history. And speaking of history, a little bit more nitpicking that came courtesy of a retired Nike historian, Scott Reams. He had a couple posts on LinkedIn about this. And this stuff is super interesting to me because he's probably one of the most qualified people in the world to speak on this in terms of a man who was tasked professionally with chronicling Nike's history and understanding exactly what was and wasn't right. He had a bunch of little complaints. Some of them were big. One of them was that when he first saw the movie, he said there was a graphic that said Nike bought Converse in 1996.
This is the end of the film.
Yeah, which is wrong. Yeah, and then he said he watched it later and the graphic was changed to say Nike.
The one I saw said 1996.
Yeah, he saw another version that was changed and it said 2003, which is the right year. That's a weird historical inaccuracy where you would just Google that and get the right year. After I read his post, I just Googled when did Nike buy Converse, and 2003 comes up immediately. So I don't know how you got that wrong. Some other stuff about a lot of those offices were not necessarily all in the same place. Peter Moore's office was in downstairs. He was in downtown Portland, but that kind of makes sense to me for them to condense
it makes sense in the film that like Peter's kind of like
sense.
the outcast that's in the basement. But the one part too is about how many medals Nike won at the LA Olympics.
He said a reference to how there had only been 4 medals won by Nike athletes in the just completed 84 LA Olympics. The actual number was 65. That's such a huge one, and just the numbers are so easy to get right, in my opinion. How do you get that wrong?
Yeah, one of the things too, I think, to talk about in the film, I know a lot of people were nitpicking, is the shoe itself.
I don't think that. I thought that was a little extra for people to be upset at.
So here's the other thing. I totally understand why it wouldn't be a vintage pair of Air Jordans, because that looks stupid. Like you're not going to have a pair of yellow, like OG crackled shoes.
It's almost impossible to find the right sneaker that is pristine enough in that moment to look.
And you're not
like
going to have like
then
2015 Chicago.
Yeah, that would have been worse.
Wouldn't be right.
That would have been worse.
But there's just something about that shoe, like when I get it goes both ways, when they put it out there where it doesn't look real. When it comes onto the thing, it looks like
in the movie.
Yeah, it looks like blocky-esque. But then
that part of the movie, though, did people like clap or gasp? Every single thing I've been in, people like, you heard when they unveiled the shoe, people heard like,
it's like, you know what the shoe looks like.
Yeah, but we do, obviously, but like casuals.
You have, if you do not know what, like,
right, but they're not like, oh, that's not the one, a casual person. No. Like, oh, this is off. Fully.
Not that.
That's what I mean.
I thought you meant a casual
but
person
you
didn't know what
movie,
the Air Jordan 1 was.
Yeah, you notice in the movie they hold it back, like until the reveal. And every time I've been in the movie, like watching it the 3 times, it's like when they unveil it, people like clap or whatever.
But it does also look like a stitched together sample,
which is fine.
No, that's what I'm saying.
It would have been a prototype at that phase. Yeah, I
can't believe he made it in 2 days.
Any other final thoughts on Air?
I like it.
Welty, overall,
it's good. It's not like a great film.
Really solid, fun,
good, and it's not even a knock on the film, but it's just I already know like what's going to happen in it, where it's not, there's no
surprises.
I guess for some people they're like, oh, I really thought he was going to sign to Adidas. I'm like, really? Like,
it's different though. It's different. It's different for you.
I mean, I thought that, to me, one of the funnier parts in the film was the portrayal of the other footwear brands.
Yeah, that was good. When they go to Converse really and when they go to Germany,
when they go to Adidas, and they have like the West German flag in the background, and Horst Dassler, and
imagine that in the HBO series. Or no? No.
Okay,
y'all should know, if you're listening to this podcast, you should know the history as well. And again, if you don't, there's a wealth of primary sources you can go out there and check that really break down the real stuff that happened in great detail. Another pair of Jordans that doesn't look quite real. Can we talk about these 2-3 hybrids Gentry Humphrey popped out in?
So I saw the clip of, it's like Gentry was walking into a room or something?
Yeah, he's got on a sneaker that looks somewhere between a Jordan 2 and a Jordan 3. It's the Jordan 2 upper, basically, with the 3 sole, right?
Big Fusion.
Okay. Fusion energy.
Maybe I'll get crucified for this.
You like them?
I kind of like them.
Not bad.
They're
too low.
I think they're fine.
Too lows, right?
For hybrids. Yeah.
I like Jordan 2 lows, so I don't know. It does look like a Team Jordan.
Of course. I mean, I think it's very hard for hybrid or mashup Jordans to ever be good, and part of that is because we love these things because there's some prototype form of them in our head that exists. You know, you want that exact shape, and that's frozen in time, and if you change it, it's wrong.
A little bit of yellowing in the sole, kind of.
Do you like these, Joe?
It's a white shoe. So.
It's a white shoe, but I don't
They're
mind
out.
them. I've seen worse fusions for sure. They
Oh
don't
my
look,
God.
They don't
Yes.
look. They
What's
don't
the
look
What's
that
the
bad.
worst fusion Jordan of all time? Son of Mars is pretty down there, right?
Yeah.
Spizike's probably the best.
Oh, I love the Spizike.
I thought you were gonna say you don't like.
I
the
remember
Spizike.
unboxing those at the finish line and just seeing that black with the green and the red. I was like, they were very expensive, right? I remember I was like, I'm not gonna buy these, but love the Spizikes.
I think maybe the worst were like, just because they looked like the actual Jordans, were like the 3 and 9 fusions, because it was like, if you saw someone from afar, you're like, oh wait, you got them, and then you look.
What about the 60 plus? You remember the 60 plus
Oh
and
yeah,
that Laney colorway?
That shoe went bonkers. There was like a Pistons
Yeah,
colorway. It was like a black, blue, and red.
Jordan 6, 17, 23. I'm just looking at a list of
Bad
the
shoe.
hybrids. Really, I felt like that one wasn't as offensive as
No,
some
that
of
was
them.
pretty bad.
Okay.
the
60 plus did really well as far as like numbers, like sell
Volume,
through goes.
yeah, units.
Yeah, those sold really well. Same as we talked about on here, True Flight. That shoe did
course.
ridiculously well at the time.
one that I love.
You're going on record saying there's a Jordan hybrid that you love.
Sentimental reasons, but I remember the Kemba Walker Yukon championship run, the 6/17/23. He was wearing them
We
on
just talked
court.
about it. Yeah, awful shoe.
Oh, that's what you just said?
Yeah.
Awful shoe.
I went to foot. Sorry, I missed that. I was Googling it. I went to Foot Action and almost bought a pair because that's what he was wearing.
Wow, you were so swayed
Yep. Look at
by the
this.
power of UConn
Does this
basketball.
sway? Yep. And Kemba Walker. Does this sway you at all?
No, that shoe's awful.
I don't think the shoe is awful.
It's pretty bad.
I remember the Getty image. It looks
I
pretty good.
remember. I remember when that shoe came in the store, and I'm like, really, this is what they're doing right now.
You know he wasn't.
Just hating.
Yeah, he was like, I'm not going to work hard to sell
Exactly.
this one.
Exactly. Yeah, that was one that I was close to buying for real. That was that. Besides the Spizike, that was the only one I was close to buying.
You know, one fusion that I will admit to kind of liking at the time, even though I don't think anybody else probably did, the Jordan Comfort Viz Air 11, that Jordan 11 low looking thing with like an
That Soul
airbag.
Collector did a collaboration.
Yeah, the first ever.
They got Zach Dubasic and Nick DePaula got rope-a-doped on. They said that. No, Nick told the story on the podcast. We thought he was getting Air Jordan 11 collab, and
Yeah, I think there's a sample version of a Jordan 11 that it was supposed to accompany that. I'm sure Nick Engvall will fill in the history on that. But I actually kind of liked those at the time. I didn't think that was the most offensive thing ever, which to me is the bar when it comes to fusion Jordans, you know? Although not anything I would ever spend money on.
Yeah, these 2 3s though.
Yeah, I think they're fine. I think they're better than the 312, which also is a fusion that I don't think is that bad. But
So another point that people have been bringing up, our friend Sneaker Dave Whitehead,
yes,
mentioned that because after The Last Dance came out, there was a boom in Air Jordan resale.
yeah,
And
where the prices of vintage Jordan 1s in particular changed forever.
Yes.
That exact moment
Yes.
switched how we look at the Jordan 1 on the resale market, and all of a sudden those OG pairs went from sometimes you could find a beat up pair, sometimes you could find one that was well worn that wouldn't be that expensive, to these are now unattainable.
Yes.
Thousands of dollars no matter what.
Very interesting point.
shout out to your guy.
Curated Van. Curated Van just did a podcast I actually was listening to, but yeah, exactly.
But also during that time period, you had so many, which I would consider ass Air Jordan 1s that also came
Always
out.
the most eloquent.
University blue, the ones that look like clouds. Those shoes aren't going to matter in a few years. You know, obviously there's going to be people who bought them who love them, and there are people going to get mad at me.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my favorite shoe.
22-year-old kids who made $100,000 selling them.
TikTok Air Jordan 1s.
Oh,
And
wow.
for the record, I don't think the Air Jordan 1's a bad shoe. I think it's one of the most iconic sneakers of all time. I love.
Disclaimer: Welty always has to put on this.
Yes, a lot of the OG colorways, some of the best shoes ever created.
Yes.
University blue Air Jordan 1s, not one of the best shoes ever created. But you saw a boom in like the desirability of those shoes, the resale value of those shoes, where people could sell those for $400 or $500+
Pretty consistently.
And I think people thought that maybe that there was going to be a correlation as well with a lot of Jordan 1s, but it feels like the Jordan 1 is like, it's not a shoe that's, I don't want to say played out per se, but it's definitely on the decline from where that moment was, like 2019, 2020.
And to be honest, it could be on a decline. It seems like maybe it is on a decline, but also,
Well, I mean, Lost
it
and
was.
Found.
There was only so
at
much you
peak.
could keep going.
And
There were so many colorways. The boom. It was like
Can't
another.
sustain that forever.
Exactly. There was like another big boom of it besides the OGs that we talked about last dance. All those colorways, it seems like people have been into for the past few years, and now it seems like it's slowing down
I feel
a
like
little bit.
the last dance of the Air Jordan 1
Hey.
There we go.
was the Lost and Found.
And
So
that hit crazy.
But that was like the crescendo of the Air Jordan 1, and it feels like maybe it's little.
Yeah, but what if they bring like a Royal Lost and Found?
Well, they're going to, right?
Yeah, no. Like, what if they bring a Royal Vintage one back? That would hit.
It's always
I'll buy it.
Those shoes are always going to hit, right? Like,
You're talking about the other non-retro
The things
colorways.
that fill in the gaps between the
Yeah.
OG ones that we love.
yeah, like I mean, maybe there's a big buzz for it, but like Skyline Jordan 1s, I don't know how hard that shoe's going to hit.
You actually kind of like that shoe, right? Which is surprising to me.
No,
I don't like that one.
I like the box of that shoe.
Yeah, the
Oh,
box
excuse
is
me.
different. I don't like this one. See, like,
And we mentioned
like this one at
we
all.
mentioned 60 plus. There was the 60. There's a retro coming out of the 60 plus Air Jordan 1 pack, done OG way. The Celtics green, black toe. That's coming out.
Tatum time.
That's coming out this weekend.
neither.
But I don't know how much that shoe's gonna hit. You know,
Yeah.
and it's like 3 years ago. I feel like that shoe would have hit. Maybe not because it's green, but like I feel that shoe would have hit way harder. That's all.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And I think that it's maybe a similar trajectory of the Dunk where there was this period, especially kind of parallel to each other, right?
Yeah.
Right in the heart of COVID, in our darkest times that we shared. Sorry. 2020 where you could drop a, Be True colored SP Dunk Low with some okay leather on it, and it would be a sneaker that would resell for $500 or $600 and that people would go insane for. Sorry to contextualize everything with resale prices, but it does help sometimes. I think that it's weird to see the excitement fade sometimes, but I think we as consumers benefit from it because there's a lot of great dunks that are just on shelves right now, where in 2020 those sneakers wouldn't have had a chance to sit on the shelf. You would have had to go crazy to put a bunch of effort into trying to buy them. Now that's not the case.
And I think it's totally fine too, because it's not saying, oh, sneakers suck now, Air Jordan 1 Dunk are played out. But it's like, to me, it's like, this has been a great year in shoes,
Yeah.
and I don't want to like dig too much into that, because that's like, we can do a whole episode on that. But it felt like for the longest time that, not that I wasn't excited by shoes anymore, but just when the whole market was just Dunk Low and Air Jordan 1,
I feel like that was just pain for you. Like
Yeah.
it was just so it was so like uniform, like monotonous, boring. And it's like, both of those are great shoes. I don't want to go on the record and be like I'm a Dunk and Air Jordan 1 hater, because I'm not. But when 90% of like the cool shoes on the market are white on white Air Force Ones, which also great shoe, not hating on that in any bit, but white on white Air Force Ones, Panda Dunks, Air Jordan 1s,
Mocha,
and like,
Mocha Jordan 1s.
It's like all the same shoe, kind of just in different forms for the most part. And it's like, come on, we need just a little bit more diversity in our footwear.
Did you feel about the New Balance 550 or no?
I guess that fits into the same like,
It was that group, it seems, right?
yeah, that whole just like white leather, low top, or I guess one's a high top, but now it feels like, oh, there's a little, like the industry's
fresh air.
Variety.
And not just super niche sneaker culture where it's like it's starting to bleed over a little bit, and like there's exciting things out there.
there's Vomeros, all this.
Vermeeros are everywhere. Vomeros are everywhere.
I love it.
Wow.
I mean, we're about to see.
They hit with that one.
Yeah.
We just mentioned the ALD 860 V2. That shoe came out at like 2018, I believe, and didn't really get the same love. There was a Dime collaboration, which were great, I feel like. But a lot of shoes this year, the white cement 3s, SB4s, Bronson New Balances. I mean, another shoe that's coming out that I love, the Adidas Dublin's getting retroed. You see all these like.
I love to see you putting on for Ireland.
Yeah. You see all these different things, and it's just, it's more fun to have that much more variety in
Tiffany
shoes.
Air Force One.
What?
Just kidding.
What is that?
Stuck it in there.
Cortez 95.
Cortez 95. It just feels like the game's getting a little more.
You feel like we got to what the game's been missing?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know the Tiffany thing. He was talking about the best shoes.
I snuck it in there.
Did you see there was a TikTok-y reel going around where someone's walking the streets with an actual SB Tiffany?
I've seen this because six people have sent it to me.
Wait,
yes.
I haven't seen it.
There's someone walking down the street like this with one in the
I
same
think it's
hand.
in Liverpool, right?
Yeah, one SB and one Tiffany Air Force One, and they're like, which shoe's better?
Yeah.
And I think like 5 out of 6 people all say Tiffany Dunk, of course.
That's right. That's true.
Yeah,
5 out of 6 people would be right. No
The other
one's
people
debating
are
that.
wrong. And anybody who says that the Tiffany Air Force One is one of the best shoes of the year,
Oh,
also wrong.
let's see. We'll circle back and put a pin in that and all the other corporate jargon to that combo.
Have you received your list Air Force Ones yet, Joe?
No. That's all. I would wear those though.
Yeah.
I think I would pop out.
What's the fit looking
I
like?
don't know. I'd
That's
have
the
to think.
question.
I'd
That's
have
the
to think.
question. Bracelet you got on today would kind of match the colors. It's a colorful shoe.
Fruity Pebbles.
Anything else we need to talk
Also,
about?
one of my other favorite shoes this year so far. Those Kith 9. I can't talk about that shoe enough.
Which shoe?
The Kith 993s. They should have made so much more of those. That shoe is amazing.
Did you
You
buy it
like
there?
that?
They were gone before anyone knew it. And everyone's saying they're like, I didn't know that shoe was coming out. It came out, and now the resale is like astronomical on
Really?
it.
That was
Yeah.
a Monday program.
Yeah.
RF Lucy.
It was just a
It's a RF Lucy
Just-
Monday program.
And it for what it's worth, I feel like it's one of the best shoes Ronnie's done in years. Not saying the other shoes aren't good, but like that's like to me, it's like up there.
Okay.
Okay. Look at you, excited, restoring the feeling.
I love that. This is the Matt Welty
Yeah,
I
we
like. The
need
one
it.
that's happy about sneakers.
We need it.
There's a lot of good. You know what I like? I like that there's a lot of good shoes that are mainstream enough that it's not you're like just this weird niche person in the corner that's like, oh, you're just wearing like Solomons and Sauconys that like nobody, just you and your 5 friends care about. You know?
Okay.
I like that there's a lot of big mainstream shoes this year that aren't just super boring.
Yeah. You know what I like?
What?
Matt Welty liking shoes.
Yeah, look at you. Popeye got his spinach last night at
Mr.
Sarku.
Positivity.
All of a sudden, okay.
I did get the mixed vegetables on the side.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, any other? No. Oh wait, no. I think there is one other thing to touch on.
What?
I think that today is a bit of a special day.
Yeah,
I
Dave
don't-
Matthews is in studio.
No, I mean our producer Dave Matthews. You know he floats around sometimes. Sometimes you see him. Sometimes
Oh,
you don't. But
wow.
today's
Wow.
a special day for another
at
reason,
this.
a different reason.
Wow.
And we have Jillian making a rare appearance on camera here. Turn the camera
Wow.
on.
Thank you so
Turn
much.
the YouTube on.
Wow, look at this, a live birthday.
If you're listening to this on
Wow.
the podcast, you are missing out on.
Thank you, Jillian.
Thank you, Jillian, for everything you do. Look, Jillian put the candles
Look
on.
at
as
this.
she's known to do.
What's his name?
As
The
she's
cake
known to
boss,
do.
Buddy Velastro. You got the.
This is a great cake. Wow.
You gonna make a wish? It's Joe LaPuma's birthday as we record this, not as we premiere this episode. So when you hear it, he'll be well into this latest year in his life, which I won't say which year it is.
Oh, no.
Over the hill.
Yeah. It's Googleable. It is so. But
Brendan
no,
What if
also-
we Google your net worth?
Brendan
Is that
Dunn's
accurate?
also
that's not accurate.
Brendan Dunn's also
Accurate.
5'3" according to Google. So
Chill out. Listen, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Let me make a wish.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Are the
Thank
smoke
you.
alarms gonna go off here in the
Nah,
studio?
we're good. We're
imagine
good.
that.
We're gonna eat this cake, right?
Yeah, hell yeah.
What flavor is it?
I don't know. I have to check, but it looks good. A lot colorful sprinkles. Look at the JLP. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
What are you doing for your birthday?
I went to Atlantic City for a night.
And how did you felt like Sonny out there blowing on the dice?
Sunny on the
I
table.
went to shouts to the Ocean, Atlantic City, shouts to
Put you
Brian,
up?
shouts to Lisa. They hooked it up. Went less than 24 hours, but went to like the sports book and watched the Israel Adesanya
Watched. What
fight.
did you bet on?
No, I didn't really bet. I didn't really
What?
bet. I know. I'm bad at that. I'm
What
not
are
a
you doing in
gambler.
Atlantic
I'm not
City
a
if you-
gambler. I know. But we had a great time there, and then, I will be on semi-vacation next week. And I say semi because I'm keeping my meetings on my schedule. I can't just like unplug.
Sitting poolside in Miami with the Flyknits and Rolly.
Oh, maybe. Sounds good. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Hoboken style, baby.
Yep.
You like
Sounds
that?
like something I would say.
The cake boss.
Happy birthday, Joe.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Appreciate everyone. Appreciate another year with the
team.
Another year with the team. Yeah.
Another episode. We did talk about sneakers in this past hour, right?
Yeah, yes. Apologies for the Sarku rant, but if you know, you know. Anyone who knows, drop a comment about Sarku. We gave the proper amount of time.
They want to sponsor the show?
We need it. I'd eat it every day. I almost did when I was... No, but I ate it probably 3 times a week when I was working on Finish Line.
Really?
Oh, the best.
I had a dark period in my life where I was eating a lot of Popeyes.
Well, that doesn't sound dark at all. That sounds great.
Yeah, great for my happiness, if not my health.
All right, listen, this has been the Complex Sneakers Podcast. We hope everyone has a great weekend. Please like, subscribe. We are off next week, but we will see you in 2 weeks.
And we hope you have a great birthday.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's important.
Appreciate it.